Hi guys, so if you want to learn how to make this decorative yarn, then watch the previous video. I usually try not to use black yarn for my videos, like any darker yarn, because usually it's not visible. But I worked on this yesterday till, I don't know if it was, I think it was 2 o'clock, and that's when I realized I actually used the wrong yarn. I should have used something lighter, but that's why I have a white background, and hopefully you guys will be able to see this. So yeah, if you want to see how to make this, just watch the previous video. So here I use a different distance between these decorative pieces. So I'm going to use knitting needles in size 12 millimeters. You don't have to use circular needles. I just find them easier to use. This pattern is not going to be really anything hard. This is going to be something simple, because I promised you guys I'm going to make something with this yarn. So right here I'm going to leave like a long tail. It depends how many stitches you want to use. So I'm going to make a slip knot. Then I insert these needles right here. Then I don't know how many stitches I'm going to cast on, so I'm just going to go with the flow, and then I'll let you guys know by the end of this row. Hopefully you guys will be able to see. So I cast it on 14 stitches. Now I'm going to turn my work around. Then I'm going to pass this first stitch on my right needle. Then I'll knit the next stitch. I'll knit the next stitch. Knit the next stitch. Knit the next stitch. Knit the next stitch. So I'll knit every stitch throughout row 1. I really hope you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. So this completes row 1. Now for row 2, I'll turn my work around. Then I'll pass this first stitch on my right needle. Then I'll knit the next stitch. Knit the next stitch. You can knit any way you know how. You don't have to knit exactly like I do. Any way you know how, it's fine. But honestly, if you're using decorative yarn, you don't have to use like any difficult pattern, because it's all about this decorative yarn, really. That's what is actually taking all the attention. So I'll knit every stitch throughout row 2. So basically, I'm just repeating row 1, really. Alright, so this completes row 2. It looks messy right now, but it will look better, I promise. Now I'll turn my work around, and for row 3 I'll repeat again row 1. So I'll just pass this first stitch on my right needle, and then I'll knit the next stitch, knit the next stitch, So we'll just knit every stitch throughout row 3. So from every row from now on, we will just be repeating row 1. Just knit every stitch for every row. So this completes row 3. Then for row 4 again, we'll turn our work around. I think you can actually leave even way more distance than I did between these decorative yarn pieces. I think that will look even better. Yeah, just leave way more, maybe like 1 foot or even 2. So I'm gonna do a few more rows off the camera, and I'll come back and tell you guys how it looks, okay? So I ran out of the yarn that I actually decorated yesterday. This is what I was able to make with it. See? So if I was about to make this again, I'll actually just leave way more distance between every decorative yarn piece, okay? So I would just leave like I said, like 1 or 2 feet in between. Two I will actually leave that much. But now, since I ran out of it, and I don't want to spend any more time on making it, so I'm just gonna continue working with this one strand of, you know, Hometown USA yarn. So I'm just gonna continue with that. I'm just gonna leave this as a decorative piece. Now I'll do this one strand. It's just a plain yarn. We'll just basically still repeat row 1. You know, just continue knitting every stitch. So yeah, we'll just continue knitting every stitch. Okay guys, so I have a few ideas on what I wanted to do with this scarf, and I decided to stick with my favorite one. So the reason this side looks like smaller than this one is because here I use just 1 strand of yarn, and here I use 2, so that's why it looks thicker. Let me just measure this. The skinny part is like around 6.5 inches wide, and the wide part is around 8.5 inches wide. And the scarf is around 22 inches long so far. So now I'm just going to finish off this last row. Keep in mind guys, I never made this before. I actually just came up with the idea. So I believe it will turn out okay. So I'm just going to knit this first stitch. Then I'm going to knit the next stitch. Now insert this left needle through this second stitch and pass it over the first stitch. See, now I have only 1 stitch on my needle. Now I'll knit the next stitch, insert the left needle through this first stitch and pass it over the second stitch. So we repeat this for the rest of our stitches. Okay, now that I have only 1 stitch on my needle, I will just chain 1 and I will leave a long tail. Just gonna use this yarn needle. Let me just explain this to you guys. So basically what we are going to do is we're going to take this side and we're going to sew it to this side here. I don't know if that's very visible, but look. Take the right side, flip it over, then we'll sew it right here through this left corner. Let me explain it again. See how we have one side where we have made this scar, we just continued on the right side. So look here, we have like something like a square. So we'll be working only on these top two pieces. This one is already done. Now we're going to fold this right side and we're going to sew it on this side here, see? So like this. Now we take this side, fold it in half, just like that. And now we'll sew those two sides together. So this is what we have, guys. I'm just going to put it on a mannequin so you guys can see it better. Well, that is all for today, guys, and thank you so much for watching.